Katherine Pierce has always been one of my favorite characters of the Vampire Diaries universe. I liked her philosophy of being a survivor, and I can't really blame her for it. Her whole life was turned upside down and nothing was in her control. Being a doppelganger literally ruined her life and put her in a position where she couldn't trust anyone because everybody wanted to be on Klaus's good side. She became the product of her environment. She lost her family and had to go on the run and couldn't let anyone in. She needed to be a ghost. And she thought that killing herself, which was a last resort, was the answer, but it didn't change anything. Her death pissed Klaus off even further and made things a lot worse for her. By the time the Salvatore brothers encountered her, she was already a different person. The defenseless girl was gone, and in her place was a confident, cool, calm, collected, condescending, capable, and captivating woman. She needed to adapt, and she did. And even though she kept her feelings out of her decisions for the most part, she still fell for Stefan, which was a bit good for her. But then she also got involved with Damon, which was just messy. I've never liked a love triangle, but I didn't mind it here because of how it was implemented. Katherine got involved with Damon physically, but she never loved him. She only wanted Stefan. And I like that she was allowed to actually like someone, but it doesn't really do anything for the series other than using it just to toy with the brothers. Katherine losing Stefan forever because of her actions is something I like, but is something they choose not to focus on, which is very frustrating. Like, the show never took Katherine's feelings for Stefan seriously. It's purely surface level, and when it's used, it's not in any way that benefits Katherine as a character. Katherine has always been my favorite of the two. She's more charismatic and a way more interesting character. I can see why Katherine was jealous of Elena. She had the life she wanted, the normal and mundane of it all, plus the numerous people who care about her and would do everything to keep her safe, which is what she could have had all those years ago. With that being said, Katherine being stuck in this jealousy/vengeful storyline is so lame and just causes all the hype the character had to come to a complete stop in season 4 and onward. And don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the moments where Katherine would pretend to be Elena and try to fool her friends, but most of Katherine's strong points are when she's plotting, killing, and being feared. So while I do understand that Katherine would be jealous, that should not stop her from being more than a one-trick pony. They should have given her much more to do. If you don't want to redeem the character, because that's something I would be interested in seeing, then Katherine should at least be a more convincing villain. My biggest problem with Katherine is that she stays stagnant as a character. I wish she would have grew. I already don't like the Traveler storyline, and I began to hate it when they connected it to Katherine. And then they had her trying to take over Elena's life again, and it's just sad and distasteful. And Elena's friends should have almost known immediately that it's Katherine, not Elena, after interacting with her. I preferred if they took her in a different direction. After she bought her freedom from Klaus, Katherine should have been written out of the show or given stronger villain material. All the characters have moved on and she's still stuck here, unable to progress, unable to be anything more than what she is. I think that Katherine would have been tired of running and not being able to form any healthy and lasting relationships. So when she got cured, I think they should have at least allowed her to develop a relationship or two that aren't romantic. I wanted her to close this grueling and long chapter of her life and move on to something else, something new. I would have even accepted her becoming an anti-hero type character and helping out the main cast with stuff from time to time over her being stagnant. While I am one of those people who believe that Vampire Diaries should have ended after season 3 or 4, but leaning closer to season 3, I do have a somewhat love and hate relationship with seasons 4 to 8. With that being said, if we're continuing post season 4, I have an idea or two for what her storyline should have been. I would make a backdoor pilot episode for Katherine after Silas and Amara were dealt with, where Katherine is found by her daughter, Nadia. That would continue into a new series that follows Katherine as she gets reaccustomed to life as a human again and try to get her life back on track, and we would watch as she learns to trust and love again and slowly redeem herself throughout the season. And we would get a new cast of characters and a new set of villains who have a personal vendetta against her. I think something like that would allow Katherine to become a better character and get back all that she had lost, and gain more than she could have ever imagined, and the series would end with her death as she dies of old age. So the second storyline I thought of is, after Katherine gets cured, people would be coming after her looking for the cure, which would force Elena and friends to have no other choice but to hide her. I'm not going to go into much detail, so let's just say that word got out that Katherine is human now, so now everyone is after her, whether for her life or for the cure. And during this time, Elena and friends would get to spend time with Katherine, and they'll grow closer, kind of, and all Katherine's walls would come crashing down, and while I don't expect them to forgive her or become friends, they would have gotten to know her past all the scheming, lying, and backstabbing, and there would be some sort of understanding that takes place. She would also make new friends unrelated to the main cast, and after losing the cure and she begins aging again, that's where Nadia would come in. This is where we could have seen a softer side of Katherine and watch as she becomes a mother to Nadia. And of course, I'd want her to get proper closure in regards to Stefan and should find love in someone else. Then Katherine, Nadia, and the love interest would leave the main cast and go somewhere else. Either of these storylines would allow her life to come full circle, and for those who disagree, you are welcome to, but in my opinion, Katherine stopped being entertaining post season 4. At that point, they were beating a dead horse. Katherine became a joke and a boring character, and I know they could have done better because Klaus exists, the originals exist. If they didn't want to redeem her, they could have at least given her better storylines. If they had put more effort, Katherine would have continued to be interesting if they shifted her goals and motivations. But no, she has been either trying to take over Elena's life or destroy her life for years at this point, and I'm tired of it. I felt nothing when Katherine finally died. To me, the character died seasons ago. She spent all her remaining time doing the same tired and pathetic thing I despised for so many seasons, and she died giving Elena the Augustine virus. Okay, and what happened after that? They cured her. Katherine's final revenge was meaningless. What she did had no lasting consequences on the series. And her resurrection, in quotation marks, pissed me off even further. Okay, Katherine came back and is the ruler of hell. Okay, what's her master plan? To destroy Mystic Falls and everyone in it. Yay, wonderful, more of the same stuff. It's like deja vu. I already do not like the Siren Cade Hell storyline. And what did they do? They attached Katherine to it and made it worse. Even in death, the character cannot rest. Katherine doesn't even hold up much as a villain. Everything she does, they undo it. Katherine kills Jeremy, they undo it. Katherine gives Elena the Augustine virus, they undo it. Katherine ruins Caroline's life by turning her into a vampire, but that just makes her better. Katherine takes over Elena's body, they undo it. Katherine tries to indirectly blow up Mystic Falls, they stop it. Katherine tries to break the brothers apart, they undo it. Most of the sentiments regarding Katherine that I've seen are mostly positive, and while I do like the character, I tend to agree with some of the negative ones, and I think that she was underutilized and kept from achieving greatness. So here are a couple comments that I think are worth highlighting. She had a similar run to Georgina Sparks in Gossip Girl in my opinion. Great villains in their first few seasons, but needed to be retired after. I love Katherine, but I would have preferred if she left after season 4, mainly because I wasn't a fan of the Traveler storyline. She was an interesting character for 2 seasons, then she was irrelevant, annoying, and should have been killed off. Honestly, being killed off is a better alternative than what we got. She did truly love Stefan. She deserved a redemption arc way more than Klaus or Damon. Her magic disappeared after season 2, but up until then, she was the best character in the show. Masquerade is iconic, and I'll never not love that episode because of Katherine. This person says, she isn't a villain. Katherine is a victim. And to that I say, Katherine was a victim that eventually became a villain. It's so crazy how different Elena and Katherine are. You stick them in a room together being themselves, and you can tell who's who just from their voices and mannerisms. Even when Elena didn't have her humanity, you can tell that she was Elena and not Katherine. Nina left no crumbs in the acting scene. Nina should have gotten many awards for the way she was able to play Katherine and Elena and make them seem like two totally different people. The fact that she never turned her humanity off during everything she went through just proves how strong she is. Plus, I love Nina. She's so talented. She played two characters, made them both sound different, act different, as if it's another person. Genuine talent. Katherine putting herself inside body was boring and felt repetitive. Katherine would have gotten that redemption arc had she not stolen Elena's body. Did we miss that, or did we watch the same show? Did we? When was she going to get a redemption arc? Point that out to me. Show me the exact episode. Send me the timestamp. Literally. Where? They all had bad moments, real bad, but at least Damon and Klaus tried to be good and redeem themselves later on. Katherine never did. She just kept hurting people for the fun of it even after her death. Klaus and Damon got new material. They were allowed to become more than what they were introduced to be. Katherine did not get that type of treatment. She was stuck in that storyline for 5 seasons? That is so stupid. Sometimes it's less about the characters and more about the writers. Because why would Katherine still be in Mystic Falls, the place she hates so much? Why would she still be here when she is free to do anything and go anywhere? She literally just bought her freedom from Klaus, the man that she's been running from for 500 years. Why would she still be here, stuck in this small town, fighting these people who have already moved on with their lives? But she's still here trying to get the last laugh when she should just move on. Why do you think that is? You think the character is so stupid that she would be here same way? No, I think the writers just did not want to make her move on. They literally could have given her a redemption arc, could have written her off, could have killed her off, could have done many different things, but they chose to keep her here doing the same thing over and over and over again with the same result. And she does not get tired of it. She keeps doing the same thing again and again. In the earlier seasons, Katherine was something to behold, a larger unseen force operating from a distance, a cold, calculated killer that could create the outcome she wanted with time, manipulation, a plan, and her survival skills. And now she's a shell of her former self, held prisoner by the ones writing the character, withheld from becoming greater than she was. She could have been as great as the Klaus Michelson himself, but she was fumbled. And so the once great Katherinepierce went out as a complete joke. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on Katherinepierce in the comments below. I'm interested in seeing what y'all think of the character. I got more videos on the way, so stay tuned. And I'll see y'all in the next video.